Hello, I'm Alex Brown, Managing Director of Synchronicity. I'm here today to talk to you about the Echo Managed Service. Synchronicity Echo is a product which allows customers who are currently on Microsoft Dynamics CRM On Premise to migrate to Microsoft Dynamics CRM Online with all of their data. So all of their data in its entirety gets migrated from on-premise to online. I'm just going to give you a brief overview today of the challenges of migrating Dynamics CRM data from on-premise to online, why we developed the Synchronicity Echo tool, a little bit about how it works, and then to talk about how we license the managed service. So going straight into the challenges. Now, the reason that we developed Synchronicity Echo is not because there aren't data migration tools on the market. There are plenty on the market, some very, very good tools, which allow you to migrate data from other systems into Dynamics. And indeed, you can configure those tools to migrate from CRM on-premise to online. However, our starting point with the Synchronicity Echo managed service was to look at it in terms of the schema being available within the source database and using that schema itself to map the data automatically to CRM Online, which cuts out an awful lot of pain around testing, ensuring that data is migrated in the correct order, and so on. So the challenges with migrating to CRM Online: you don't have access to the database. It's in the Microsoft Data Center, and for very good reasons, you're not able to directly import data. I mentioned that there are generic tools available. They do require configuration, though, a lot of configuration in some cases. You need to understand the underlying API, especially in cases where you're looking at status transitions and the standard Dynamics CRM entity in order for that to work. You need to do end-to-end testing. I mentioned the testing. I can't stress enough how much testing you have to do in order to be sure that the data has migrated exactly as it is in the source into the destination. So we've had estimates of using generic tools of migrations, which may take up to 50 consulting days for larger databases in order to ensure that the testing has been completed and the data is going to migrate in the way that it should. Some of the other challenges, the order in which the data is migrated, so the relationships between data, created, uncreated by dates are a key one that often catch people out. Management of statuses, so you have a whole set of closed opportunities and history around your leads and activities. You want to maintain that, but the status has to be the same in the destination as it was in the source. And all of these other items present challenges: attachments, the time it takes to process, transaction currencies, queues. There's a whole list of things. This isn't the full list of entities, we'll get to that later. But these are some of the challenges that you face managing data migration using generic tools. In terms of challenges, the reason that the migration order causes us problems is when it's a fairly simple data structure, it's easy to understand. You've got one person, one record related to another record, and you migrate them in that order. You migrate the parent record first and then the child record. But what happens if there's relationships between the two? Well, actually, you need to create framework records first and then fill in the blanks. And then they relate to other people, other entities. And before you know it, you've got a real mess and a headache around where do you start with this mess of contact types or this mess of data and all of these different relationships. Where do you start in order to migrate? One of the other key challenges is process time. When you look at the time it takes to process, even with some of the improvements on the API, for larger databases, it can take several days, maybe even up to a week. The Delta process that we've employed using Synchronicity Echo Managed Service allows you to take one snapshot of a database, you run that data through over a week, and then you take another snapshot of the database and perform the switch over on a weekend. So we've identified most of the challenges that people encounter with data migration from CRM on-premise to CRM online, and the process that we follow with the Synchronicity Echo managed service includes the option to have a delta migration. So if the database is larger and we're concerned about it running for more than a weekend, you can have a switch over over a weekend after having run most of the historic data in over a week or two. So that's a little bit of what the challenges are and how we overcome them with Echo. What we offer in the managed service is, for a fixed price, we will take your source database and we will migrate it to CRM Online. It's really as simple as that. We can operate that from customer service. We also have our own service set up which will allow that migration to occur. We also monitor that. We make sure that any scripts that are needed for things like mapping of users and so on are available, and all of those outputs are available after the migration. We have complete logging of the process, so every record that goes into the destination has an entry in a log, and again the logs are then made available to the customers at the end of the managed service. This ensures that we have a smooth operation of the process. We run many migrations every week, and it's important that we're able to observe and advise customers on how those migrations are progressing. So just a brief overview on how it works. I mentioned order being critical. So there are some record types within CRM which need to be in place first. We take a holistic approach to the data. So everything that's within the system, if we start with business units, for example, this is a system where we've migrated. So we run the Echo toolset in the background, and we then end up with, starting with the business units, everything within the destination system, and in this example we're just looking at contacts, but the important point here is we're looking at all of the data from the ground up. Everything gets migrated from the source system to the destination, including attachments and so on. Now, anyone that's tried to migrate data using some of the generic tools, and I've got to tell you, very often we get calls from people that have spent weeks trying to do this, and they come across our service and they're very, very grateful to engage with us on a fixed price to be able to close the project off and get the data migrated. But all of these standard entities, so standard system entities, are migrated, including user queries, so saved views, annotations, attachments, members of marketing lists. You know, there's a whole set of things which cause problems when you're doing a generic migration. And importantly, any custom entity is also migrated. So there's no problems if you've extended your on-premise CRM. There's no issues with taking that schema and migrating it into the destination as well. Many thanks for your time today. Thanks for listening to this presentation on the Synchronicity Echo managed service. If you have any questions at all, please get in touch. Don't hesitate to get in touch. You can contact us via email. You can have a look at our pricing on our website, or give us a call. There's a UK number, 00441865 582822. We'd be delighted to talk to you in detail about how the managed service works. Our pricing is deliberately low. It's a fixed price, all inclusive. Our price is around 10% of even the lowest estimates for migrating using generic tools. So I urge you to engage us with a conversation. We're more than happy to discuss all of the options that are open to you. And I look forward to hearing from you soon.